Come on. Do I sound like I'm joking? Do I sound like I'm playing? When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying? Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
All right, once again, we are on. He is the great Mike Steph. I am the TheMoJoKing, and this is Hidden Gems Football, the Thanksgiving edition. We are brought to you by 19 Media Group, but thankfully, Thanksgiving is a true Thanksgiving because we are thankful there are no Jets playing. Fun days. All right, let's move on to Thanksgiving. The first game of the week will be the Chicago Bears heading to Detroit to face the Lions. The projected total here is 48.5 points, while the Lions are 11-point favorites. That means Vegas is telling us that the Chicago Bears will score 18 3/4, while the Lions score 29 3/4. As far as injuries, we talk about this every week. It's early in the week, so I'm just going to point out some key injuries. I would suggest checking in yourself before the game start to see who's in and out. But on the Bears side, safety Elijah Hicks was out this past week with the ankle injury. He's questionable for this upcoming Thursday. It's important because the real starter, Jaquan Briskers, is also out due to a concussion. On Detroit's side, we have a couple of questionable important pieces. David Montgomery hurt his shoulder last week, and Amon-Ra St. Brown has a knee injury that somehow popped up. I don't know how serious it is. I don't think that's serious. And Montgomery has said that he might play. Anyway, Mike Steph, enough of injury talk. What do you think about this game? Who you got?
Well, this is a Thanksgiving tradition like none other. The early game in Detroit. Most years it's the Lions and the Bears, or the Lions versus the Packers. Other years they throw in some randoms, and just so happened it just used to be in the city of Detroit. There was a time when people watched this game to see the visiting team get a win on their way to the playoffs. On occasion, the Lions will put up a good fight and maybe win. But those days are long gone. The Detroit Lions are 10-1 and are the best team in the whole league by most accounts. They're regularly blowing teams out and putting 50 spots on the board. This year is going to be special. The Lions have won 9 straight, and the last time they were seriously challenged was in Houston, and that's only because Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. And guess what? They still won. They're giving up 12 points total in the last 2 games. They have a 16.1 point differential for the season and have regularly been covering huge spreads week in and week out. For them to keep up this pace without star defensive end Aiden Hutchinson is not only impressive, but a testament to the culture instilled by head coach Dan Campbell. When he came into that facility and he had that opening press conference about biting people's kneecaps off, a lot of people laughed. A lot of people said, who is this fool? A lot of people said, you know what? That's just the Lions doing Lion stuff. 2.5 years later, look at the results. And I know at least one half of a household in Marana, Arizona is having a grand old Thanksgiving. Now, on the other side of the docket, the Bears. The opposites of the Lions culture are the Bears. After a surprising 4-2 start, guess what? They've lost 5 in a row. And the quarterbacking that they have in Caleb Williams, that was supposed to be generational, to me has regressed. Or, matter of fact, I'd say he hasn't been close to what he was advertised as. He has 11 touchdowns total, but only 2 since their last victory, which was against the Jacksonville Jaguars overseas in London town on October 13th. This has to be the fear that most had going into this season. Load up on talent to assist the rookie quarterback, but due to inadequate coaching by Matt Eberflus, it fails to click, and you end up in a situation where they find themselves in right now. 4-7, soon to be 4-8, and having to look for a new coach 1 year into the career of supposed rookie sensation Caleb Williams. So with all that being said, I guess we got to get down to brass tacks. And that would be my prediction. Do anybody think I'm choosing the Lions over the Bears? Not in your life. Now that 48.5. Normally, I would put a pause on that and go over. And tell you the truth, I think I'm going to take the pause off and I'm going to go over because this is going to be this is going to be a coming out party. This is going to be I believe this is going to be a showcase of we're still on a mission. Yes, we're dealing with some injuries, but it's not about any individuals on this team. It's about the sum of the parts. And if you think that on such a showcase day, Thanksgiving that is, in Detroit, 12:30 kickoff, that the Lions are going to come out flat, you're mistaken. So that 48.5, I'm going over. Now, that spread. The last couple weeks, they've had insane spreads, and they've covered. And then, of course, the one time they actually had a close spread, +3, +3.5, well, I should say -3.5, they missed. But that was the game in which Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, and they only missed by half a point. That 11 is really telling me don't take it, but at the same time, why not? So I'm going Detroit, taking the 11.5, and that over-under, I'm going over because I smell another 40-50 spot coming.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. As you pointed out, Detroit's won 9 straight. 5 of those 9 wins were by 10 or more points. Meanwhile, the Bears have lost 5 straight and are also 0-4 on the road. At 48.5, yeah, I see that going over. Detroit's so explosive. If Detroit starts blowing them out, they're going to keep scoring because that's what Detroit does. So, yeah, I like the over there. I'm actually going to go against you, though, on the spread. And my thinking is this, not that I think that Detroit's going to have much to fear with Chicago, but I just think that the Bears are going to end up backdooring this. I think they'll be down 14-15 and get a late score, just make it a little bit closer, make it look respectable. I reluctantly will think that the spread will be closer, even though I don't think this game necessarily will be close.
So, in other words, you're actually calling Caleb Williams a garbage time MVP? Garbage time rookie of the year?
All right. So Caleb Williams is an interesting subject here because obviously the Bears haven't been winning. He's been inconsistent at best. He's had a couple bright moments. Sometimes he looks completely lost, but sometimes you see the talent there. You see his maneuverability in the pocket. You definitely see his arm strength. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to, betting podcasts. I listen to fantasy podcasts. And you'd be surprised how many fantasy podcasts are still touting Caleb Williams as being the truth, just in a bad system, just needing a new coaching staff and a little bit more experience. And I tend to fall somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's terrible. I'm yet to see if he's great. I think he will improve next year, and I think he needs a new coaching staff. So I do agree with that. Do I see a star? Not yet, but I think it's within the realm of possibility.
We're talking things that make you blush, but trust us, it's a must. From awkward to taboo, we're here to guide you through. It don't matter if you're a bit of a prude, it's a Prude Awakening.
The next game up is a disaster. The 2-9 New York Giants are heading to Dallas to face the 4-7 Cowboys. The projected total here is 37.5 points, while the Cowboys are 4-point favorites. That means Vegas is telling us that the Giants will score 16.75 points, while the Cowboys score 20.75 points. As far as injuries, one to really keep in mind is that Cooper Rush was a little bit banged up last week. He has a knee injury. We're going to have to see if he's going to be able to start on Thursday. My initial reports heard that it was not too serious, but it is a possibility that Trey Lance will be out there against Tommy DeVito. I cannot wait. Mike Steph, what do you think about this game? Who you got?
This isn't enough to make you overeat and gorge at the table instead of sitting down like, you know what, I'll wait until the nightcap. I finish eating and I got my third and fourth plate. I'll wait. No, you're going to just be like, babe, you need any help in the kitchen? Because I don't want to watch this game. right? The Giants last week agreed to release quarterback Daniel Jones after deciding not to only bench him, but to deactivate him to guard against having the last 2 years guaranteed due to injury. And we spoke about that a little bit more in depth last week. To give a spark, supposedly, they inserted Tommy DeVito. Well, that spark, the Tommy DeVito led New York Giants team responded to that spark with a 30-7 defeat at home. Loses to 6 straight in a locker room that's teetering on apathy. Multiple players said on Sunday that they played soft. Multiple players voiced their support of Daniel Jones and then laid an egg. That does not bode well for Brian Daboll and the GM Shane. If the locker room goes, so do their jobs. Well, tell you the truth, I personally think that the GM's job is gone. Just off Saquon Barkley doing what he's doing in Philly, it's not a good look for Shane, especially after what John Mara said during the offseason regarding any team but Philly. And what did Saquon do? I think he ran for 250 some odd yards on the road the same evening, or the evening after the Giants put on such a putrid performance. Yeah. You had Baker Mayfield throwing shade with no repercussions. Baker's such a summer's eve. He's interesting, but here's a quote that sums up the feelings of the players. Dexter Lawrence said, began his post-game press conference by saying he was extremely angered over the outcome, and adding, "We played soft, and they beat the sugar honey iced tea out of us today." Moving over to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they broke a 5-game losing streak as well. The Cowboys beat their rivals on the road in Washington, D.C., led by opportunistic defense and timely special teams. At a record of 4-7 in a competitive NFC, and without Dak for the season, the playoffs probably are not in play. But the possibility of staying with Mike McCarthy as coach is definitely in play, depending on how they finish. The defense is getting healthy, and with all that talent that they have on that side of the ball, it's no excuse for them not to be competitive at the very least. And if they can't beat up on a team averaging less than 15 points per game, I don't know what to say. So now with that little caveat about Cooper Rush possibly, being banged up, that 37.5 is looking very appetizing to go under. Because if Trey Lance is playing, Tommy Cutlets is playing, it's not going to be bombs in the sky. It's going to be strictly running game. And tell you the truth, Dallas don't have a running game. So that over-under, I'm going under. That -4, I'll say it with this caveat because I'm going to be a coward. If Trey Lance plays, Giants +4. If Cooper Rush plays, Dallas -4. I know that's literally straddling the fence, but I really believe if Cooper Rush plays, they'll have just enough to get over the hump. If Trey Lance plays, wouldn't surprise me if the Giants pull off a miracle upset. So, yeah, that's my prognostications.
All right. So, first of all, the Cowboys beat Washington last week, 34-26. They had lost 5 straight before that. If you remember last week, I also said that I think I would be betting against the Cowboys the rest of the season, particularly as far as going against them in Survivor. And then you have this game lined up. The Giants have lost 6 straight. I think Daniel Jones may have a meme saying, "You miss me yet?" Because Tommy DeVito is just not it. But I think most Jet fans knew that. Meanwhile, Tyrone Tracy is taking over as the lead runner and is looking pretty good. Not looking Saquon Barkley good, but it's looking pretty good, except he happens to keep fumbling the ball. And then you have the star of the team, Malik Neighbors, who doesn't get the ball in the first half and has a lot to say about it after. He hasn't done much since the early in the season either. Although I think if you listen to him, he is blaming play calling more than anybody else. He said it's not the quarterback. Is he right? No, maybe. No, I think he has a point. I just think that, there's very subpar quarterbacking on this team, and it's gotten worse. I'm with you. I think I'm going to go under that 37.5. If we're going to parse it. Definitely, if Lance starts, then I'm definitely under the 37.5. With Rush, it's a little bit more questionable. Dallas scored 34 points last week, but 2 of them were on kickoff returns. I don't expect that to happen again. But the Giants might have given up. So from last week saying that I would go against the Cowboys every week in Survivor to this week, me picking them minus the 4 points, I feel a bit like a hypocrite, but I got to go where the mind and the soul are telling me, and the mind and soul are telling me that I cannot trust the Giants no matter what. So Dallas minus 4, under 37.5. I don't know if it's just that I want to be right about the Cowboys, but something doesn't feel good about this, but that's the way I'm going.
You know, I know it probably was a misspeak. It probably was your subconscious talking, but you said that's why the Jets don't trust Tommy DeVito. And I'm like, wow, we caught a stray and we're not even talking about.
Did I really?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And keep that in here too, because that shows the depths of your disdain. Matter of fact, that shows the depths of, you know what, looking at any opportunity to take a shot at my lovely team. That even I'm the only. It's almost like brothers. I'm the only one able to take a shot at my team. I don't mind you taking a shot, but we're talking about the Giants. So that's like a double shot. It's like you're disrespecting the Giants by not even realizing that you mentioned the Jets about this. You know what? I'm going to mute myself.
All right. I apologize because I have to say that I think I would take the Jets versus either one of these teams at this point. Maybe against the Cowboys. All right.
You good. I don't even have that much confidence nowadays.
This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
My daughter doesn't understand why it's a holiday because, you know, the whole pilgrims and Indian thing. And I'm like, listen, Thanksgiving, giving thanks for the family and friends you have. They've been giving thanks for the blessings you've received, giving thanks for what you have been able to give people throughout the year. That's how I should think about Thanksgiving.
I'm with your daughter. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. All right.
Okay, Malcolm. We had and then when I say my bum was sore, sure, I couldn't, man, that was crazy. And it's just crazy that I just said that because I know you're going to cut that shit up and just say, my bum is sore. Din, 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 din.